Welcome to the Crimson Tide Connection, your home for Crimson Tide sports, and I'm joined this morning by the head coach of the Alabama women's tennis team, Jenny Mainz. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, as we always say when you leave, next time we'll have good things to talk about, and this time we do have some good things to talk about. You had a good, exciting weekend, beating Kentucky 6-1, and then playing for nearly 6 hours, beating Vandy 4-3. It's a pretty exciting weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was absolutely an incredible weekend on all fronts. You know, it's just a special weekend because all the parents and families are in, grandparents, aunts and uncles, siblings, anybody really that's affiliated with the program. It's just a very welcoming weekend. We had a great turnout. Most of the parents came, including my mom, which was really fun.
Excellent.
She got to see the Tide compete, but Antonia Fusa's mom and brother came from Germany. And Alexa Garachi, our other senior, she had her family here, and her grandma and her aunt and her brother, and it's a spirited weekend. There's a lot of energy, a lot of emotions, but our Crimson Racket Club helps put it on, and they just do a fantastic job of providing a festive environment for everyone, very hospitable, and it's a lot of fun. And we played some good tennis too.
You did play some good tennis. Talk about that Vanderbilt matchup there. 4-3, nearly 6 hours. It had to be pretty nerve-wracking, but exciting when you got the win there.
I think we're all still recovering in a positive way, but you know, I've obviously thought about it a lot. I mean, you know, a match like that, of that magnitude in just, 6 hours. I mean, and that's on 6 courts. That's not, an abbreviated facility. Again, I continue to say it's a testament to this team's, their steadfast mentality, their character, their fighting spirit, their tenacity, their resiliency, their just unwilling to yield mentality. It's contagious. Everybody in the facility feels it. I feel it as a coach. And I think you can cultivate that kind of an environment with your practices and your mentality and such, but ultimately it comes from those girls. It's the X factor. It's deep inside of here, and when push comes to shove and they've got to find that other gear, they're finding it. And again, I said this every week, it's not 1 or 2 players, it's all of them.
Right.
It's an ultimate team effort, it's an ultimate team win. We have 8 players on our team, and all 8 players play a role. They all understand their role. I think they respect their role and can appreciate it. Everybody's pitching in. And when I say everyone's pitching in, I mean everyone's pitching in, from the managers, the trainers, sports media, the people that help with the facility. It's kind of amazing just when everybody locks in and works together and plays together and, thinking good thoughts like we always talk about, just expecting good things to happen. And of course, doing all the hard work, but, I'm just convinced that a lot of good things happen. And the fight of this team, we were backs against the wall. We won the doubles point, which was a boost for us, a moral victory. Number 3 doubles came up big. Number 2 just continues to play better and better, Maya and Antonia Fusa. 1 struggled a bit, but competed very well. They lost 8-6, and they always compete well. But 3 was really a boost for us. They just progressively have continued to get better, and Max Norris has done a great job with that team. He's stuck with them. He designed strategies for them, and I think it's really paid dividends. But then in singles came out, and we knew that our work was cut out for us because Vandy's just probably stronger in singles anyway. They're a very good team. They're known for their tenacity and their fight. They're very strong, through their lineup, but especially towards the bottom of the lineup. And as you know, that's where we've been competing really well, consistently. So, it's one of those matches literally that could have gone either way. Natalia, once again, is the last one on the court.
She clinched the victory there.
She clinched the match 7-5 in the third. She's wins the first set 6-4. And then the second set was very even at the beginning, and then she sort of just lost some ground. I think the other player, Frances Altick from Vanderbilt, did a great job coming back. She's a freshman as well. She's a fighter, and certainly to be commended. I thought she gave a great effort, and it was really just a good match. But in the end, Natalia wouldn't go away. She's
Yeah.
down 5-4. She had 3 match points against her. You're sitting there thinking, how is she going to find a way to do this? But again, credit to Natalia. She just finds another gear. She was cramping. The other player, Altic, was cramping. I mean, it was epic.
Right. And when you have those epic matches, you always want to be the one that comes out on the
Yes.
top of those, and you
Yes.
did that. But I'll tell you something else we talk about always having good things to talk about is Alexa Garachi. She became the second player in Alabama women's tennis history to eclipse the 100 career singles victories. That's pretty exciting, and she's still got some room to even add on to that, doesn't she?
Oh, absolutely. She's nowhere near done. And you know what? The special thing about Alexa, she has struggled a bit, as all athletes do and all tennis players do. It's a very mental sport. I mean, you're out there by yourself. I mean, you don't get help from other people. You
Right.
are, it's you. And I think it's a testament to, her substance, who
Right.
she really is as a person, as a fighter, as a competitor, as a tennis player. She has stayed the course. She has continued to believe in herself. She has worked through difficulties and obstacles and tough situations. And you know what? Her best tennis is still ahead of her. And I like to say that because I think there's still a lot of room in front of her for the completion of this season. And then I think beyond, she's going to go on and play after college. But at South Carolina, a week and a half ago, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, I asked Alexa, I said, we've got to have you. We got to hear you. We got to feel you, your energy, your spirit. And I mean, she led the team. And I asked her this past weekend, take on that role, lead the team. You can hear. And I mean, when she yells, come on, all of Tuscaloosa hears it. And she means it. But she's competing better. Like I said, she's stayed with herself. She stayed in her corner. I always say it's like a boxer. You got to stay in your corner and support yourself, and she's doing a great job.
Well, after having an exciting home weekend this past weekend, you go on the road as you travel to Missouri and Texas A&M. Talk about the matchups against those. It's going to be a big weekend for you, isn't it?
It is. They're all big weekends. And, Missouri has done a fantastic job. First time into the SEC League. Their coach, Sasha Schmidt, I coached her at Iowa when I was a young coach at Iowa. She played #1 for the Hawkeyes. She's got a great reputation. She's a fighter too, and I think she's doing amazing things with that program. They just had a big win over Tennessee last weekend, and they're competing very well, through their lineup. So we faced them in St. Louis at 12 noon on Friday. And then on Sunday, we've got Texas A&M. They've been, a predominant front runner, not just in the SEC, but they've moved to 3 in the country. They've got a top 5 player on their team. They've got 3 singles players ranked, I believe. And, Howard, their staff has done a great job as well. I mean, very respectable program. And, the thing is, you've got to come to work every day. There's no team you can blink. There's no team you can say, well, this will be a little bit lighter. There are no light, easy matches. But in the end, that's what we all love. That's what continues to make us better. And that's what our team has embraced all season is, I always say, the climb gets a little, continues to get steeper through the season. They've embraced it. They've enjoyed it. They've respected it. And I think they've stepped up to meet the challenge.
Well, Coach, it's been a great season so far, and I know it's nowhere near over. You got a lot more to accomplish, but good luck this weekend as you travel to St. Louis and to Texas.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, and we'll have a complete wrap-up of those matches against Missouri and Texas A&M on RollTide.com after the matches. For head coach Jenny Mainz, I'm Chris Freeland, and that's it for this edition of the Crimson Tide Connection.